I was listening to the radio the other day, and these two university professors were discussing technology integration in the classroom. Again. This time the reason was a book had just been published in France in which the authors pleaded for a screenless classroom. Ugh. The principal arguments are always the same.
Instead of spending millions on tablets, we could hire more teachers and buy more books.
Or,
research shows technology doesn't improve results or motivation.
Same old, same old. Now wait, let me be fair here. Some of the authors' arguments are perfectly valid. For instance, the fact that lobbyists and big corporations are pushing for technology integration is certainly a cause for concern. I mean, big money is obviously not the reason why our education system should try and catch up with the world outside of school. But pitting technology against a quality education, that's just a false debate. I mean, how can you actually offer a quality education if technology is absent? Unless you're preparing students for the past. I mean, there's no app for churning butter if churning butter is what you want your students to be good at. Hi, I'm Marc-André and you're grabbing a bite at the Learning Food Truck. Now, technology, whether we're talking about cell phones, computers, tablets, or whatever will come next, is just a part of our everyday lives. It changes how we interact with the world in several profound ways. For one, it's allowing us to start this conversation in a way that was simply impossible a decade ago. So of course, technology has a place in learning, just as any other worthwhile modern tool. But the Luddites are right about one thing: technology is not a solution to the woes of education. And I think this is true for two reasons. Technology doesn't change one's pedagogy, nor does it make subject matter more engaging. Bad pedagogy is bad pedagogy. Technology will not magically improve poor teaching and evaluating practices. If anything, it can make things worse. A good teacher will make pedagogically sound use of technology, and guess what? A bad teacher will make poor, unimaginative, incompetent use of it. But don't blame the technology. Both the good and the bad teachers will be just that with everything they use in the classroom. If you're going to blame technology, then go ahead and blame chalk, pencils, books, and chairs. What we should be paying more attention to is how technology integration has somehow embodied this yearning for something to swoop into schools and motivate learners. Why are so many educators looking for that miracle cure to lack of motivation? Oh, could it be tablets? Please let it be tablets. That way we could buy some and everything would be okay.
Here, buy 1,000 of these and call me in the morning.
As if technology were a prescription for an ailing school system. Of course that won't work. Technology will never motivate students in learning something they're not interested in, that they don't find relevant, useful, or in the very least entertaining. Let me illustrate this with an example. Imagine you don't like baseball. I mean, it bores you to tears. And imagine you're a student on some parallel Earth where baseball is at the core of the curriculum. No citizen would be ready for life in society without double-digit years of baseball education. And let's say you enjoy reading in your leisure time, and books printed on paper were just invented a few years ago. Here's a teacher trying to motivate you in learning about baseball. Hey Timmy, you like these paper book things, don't you? Well, you know what? Now you can learn about baseball in a paper book. Isn't that great? We'll have cooperative learning activities on baseball for students who like teamwork, and the kids who like hip-hop, oh, they'll write rap songs about baseball. That'll be wonderful. You and I both know what's going to happen. One learner is going to get a little better at reading, the other one will get a little better at teamwork, and another one will get a little better at rhythm and rhyme. But baseball knowledge? If you hated it before, chances are you'll simply forget most of it after the test, if you actually learned anything. So trying to find new ways to engage learners is not the solution, and technology is no better at this. Here's the catch. Every topic is already engaging, just not to everyone. If school were truly a place of learning, shouldn't it be competent at helping you learn anything? And couldn't students have more say into what they're here to learn about? I'm not talking about changing the arts to science ratio here. I'm talking about opening up the curriculum to every possible topic. The easy argument against this is to say that kids will only want to learn about games and frivolous stuff. This poses as a lucid argument, while in fact it only illustrates a lack of faith in the human mind. People are born constructive, creative learning machines. School's original intention was to foster this predisposition, not try and fit every kid in the same mold. Introducing differentiation in the curriculum earlier than high school and college levels is not that complicated, but it will probably mean for students not to be grouped by age with a single teacher in front of the class for a determined period of time. It would mean that technology would play a much larger role in teaching, since students would need to access content on a just-in-time basis for a huge variety of topics. I know, it's a doozy. It's hard to imagine school to be so very different. It's hard to imagine that an open curriculum could work. Certainly not for everyone. And this is why I'm not proposing an educational reform that would change all of the schools in a given system. If history has taught us anything in regards to education, is that a one-size-fits-all reform is guaranteed not to work. There will always be enough people, parents and educators alike, who are very much attached to the status quo. And if you try to have the new school compete with the old, the status quo wins. What needs to happen is for some schools to opt in this open curriculum thing. A new government-approved open curriculum where technology is not seen as a new way to engage learners in the same old stuff, but simply as a set of modern tools to access information, to communicate, and to create whatever learners need and when they need it. That is the true power of technology in learning. Even if an open curriculum never comes to exist, we really have to stop thinking about technology as a tool for learner motivation. Technology is not the solution, and it's not the problem. It's just a tool. Like any tool, some teachers will use it wisely, some won't. Teachers like us simply have to embrace it, not debate whether or not it should be in the classroom, but make the best use of it for learning and teaching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to The Learning Food Truck, and thanks for thinking about this with me.